Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Ishvaro Guru Atmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Shruti Smriti Puranam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punaha Punaha. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namaha. Om Prajnanam Brahman Ayamatma Brahman Aham Brahmasmi Tat Tvam Asi. Consciousness is Brahman, consciousness is Supreme Self. Consciousness alone is the ultimate reality. Pure consciousness alone is the source, substance and substratum of entire phenomenal universe and beyond. Consciousness alone is the Atman. Atman is ever of the nature of pure consciousness. The Atman that was never born and that would never die, always beyond decay, death and attributes. That Atman is ever of the nature of blissful consciousness, Chidananda. And that Chidananda I am, that Chidananda you are. Because that Chidananda, the blissful consciousness alone exists. Entire infinite universe and existence is nothing but of the nature of pure consciousness. Pure consciousness alone is existence. Pure consciousness alone is blissfulness. Pure consciousness alone manifests all the objects and beings in the infinity of universes. All the names, forms and attributes perceived in this phenomenal universe are nothing but modifications and modulations of pure consciousness. There is no existence other than that of pure consciousness, and that's why it's the supreme reality. There is no higher power, there is no superior energy than that of the pure consciousness, which is ever present in its infinite measure within you, within me, within everything and everyone. Everything and everyone, every single cell and particle and atom in the universe is permeated and pervaded by none other than pure consciousness. You, me, and everyone is nothing but pure consciousness. Pure consciousness alone is free from all attributes and characteristics. And that alone is Brahman, that alone is Supreme Self, that alone is Paramatman, who is and which is always free from all names, forms, and attributes. The limiting adjuncts belong to the realm of imagination, illusion. The Brahman of the nature of blissful consciousness ever remains free from all names, forms, and attributes. Let's meditate on this today. The Supreme Reality being free from all attributes and characteristics. Because all the characteristics and attributes belong to the illusory world of names, forms, and attributes. The pure consciousness is ever free from all limitations, all names, forms, characteristics, attributes, explanations. That which is free from all characteristics, how can you explain it? That's why Brahman of the nature of Pragya, the pure consciousness, is called inexplicable. The Brahman, the Supreme Self, can be only intuitively experienced. Of course, experienced intuitively in personal, direct, immediate experience, but the Brahman, the Supreme Self, is ever beyond the realm of tongue and speech. You can just try to point it out, but since it is free from all characteristics and attributes and names and forms, it's inexplicable. How do you explain the vast, spacious, empty, blank sky? Because sky in its pure nature is ever free from all names, forms, and attributes and characteristics. Even so, the Atman, the Brahman of the nature of pure consciousness is ever one indivisible, non-dual light of pure consciousness, that is the real, eternal, absolute existence, absolute knowledge, and absolute unconditioned bliss. Absolute unconditioned bliss, love, and beauty is inherent and intrinsic to Atman of the nature of pure consciousness. So let's today practice Nidhidhyasana, profound Vedantic meditation on this dimension of the Supreme Reality, that the Brahman, the Paramatman, being free from all characteristics. That is the topic dealt in the 25th chapter of Ribhu Gita. Ribhu Gita, one of the greatest treatises on Advaita Vedanta. So let's see what says Ribhu is suggesting about this dimension of the Supreme Reality, that the Self being always free from characteristics. Atma Vailakshana Prakaranam. Topic of the self being without characteristics. Nirakara Nirguna Nirvises, free from all names, forms and attributes, is how the Advaita Vedanta explains and tries to present that supreme inexplicable reality, and how, says Ribhu, is trying to present before us. Let's see. Ribhu, says Ribhu, I am indeed Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. Soham Asmi. Shivoham. Soham. I am that supreme reality. Practice Nidhidhyasana, profound Vedantic meditation on this supreme truth, the Mahavakya of the Upanishads. I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. Come join me and experience the nectarine bliss of your true nature, the infinite ocean of love, bliss and beauty that is ever present within you and ever present everywhere. It's not absent anywhere, because this alone exists, the Brahman alone exists. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jivo Brahmaivana Paraha. The Brahman alone is the reality. The phenomenal universe is illusory and imagination. And the entire universe and Jiva, the individual self, is verily that same Brahman, not separate or different from that Brahman. That Brahman alone has modified and modulated itself and appeared as all the objects and beings of names, forms and characteristics. Therefore, I am that supreme Brahman, free from all characteristics. Meditate on this, imbibe this nectar of Advaita wisdom within yourself. Let every single cell and hair and pore and cell of your body be soaked with the nectar of this form conviction, which is key to absolute bliss, life eternal, knowledge infinite. This conviction, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. I am indeed Brahman. I am indeed consciousness. I am blemishless. Niranjana. That which is free from characteristics is alone going to be free from all blemishes. I am without interstices. I am indeed of a pure nature. I am of the eternal nature. I am the highest. I am the highest. There is nothing higher than me. There is nothing superior than me. I am that supreme reality called Paramatman or Brahman. And my true nature, my true essence is pure consciousness, blissful consciousness, pure consciousness free from all duality, divisions, characteristics and attributes. I am that supreme reality. Meditate on this truth. Live in this certitude of this Brahmanhood and become free from all fears, frustrations, sorrows, sufferings, fear of death, birth, and all imagined sorrows and sufferings. I am of the eternally pure nature. I am the embodiment of eternal consciousness. Bodhoham. I am Bodhmurti, embodiment of consciousness, embodiment of knowledge. I am. That's why I am pure. I am of the nature without beginning or end. I am without the duality of beginning and end. I was never born. I would never die. I am absolute existence because Aham Brahmasmi. I am indeed Supreme Brahman, the absolute truth. I am of the perpetually happy nature. Happiness is intrinsic and inherent to me. I don't have to beg or borrow for happiness because I have eternal and absolute exclusive right over all happiness, love, bliss, and beauty. Because none other than me, I, Brahman of the nature of pure consciousness, blissful consciousness, has even a single iota or particle of happiness other than me. In the objects and beings of the phenomenal universe, whenever you experience the happiness, the joy, the love and beauty, it's mine and mine happiness, the happiness of pure consciousness, the happiness that is exclusive property of pure consciousness, the pure existence. Therefore, I am ever absolute happiness. I am Anandamurti. I am Premamurti, Saundaryamurti. I am ever embodiment of infinite bliss, embodiment of love, embodiment of beauty. I am. There is none other than me of the nature of pure consciousness, the Brahman, the Paramatman, the Supreme Self, which has happiness. All happiness belongs to me, outside me, separate from me, apart from me. There is no happiness ever. Every single fraction, ray or spark of happiness belongs to me. Aham Brahma Param Dhamam Brahmaham Paramam Padam. Meditate on this supreme truth. I indeed am the Supreme Brahman. I indeed am myself indeed. Being of this perpetual bhava and happy in your own pure self. Be established in happiness. Established in happiness that is ever present in infinitude within yourself. Happiness is ever present at the core of your own existence, present in infinitude, beyond measure, beyond characteristics. You are of the nature of happiness. There is no happiness in any other object or being or person other than your true nature, your Atman. All happiness belongs to your Atman. Therefore, discover your Atman in order for hitting upon the infinite ocean of joy, love, bliss, beauty, and happiness. That is the supreme secret, the ultimate mystery of the cosmic existence and beyond. That mystery has been revealed by the sages and seers of Advaita Vedanta, Upanishads, the sages and seers of Upanishads, after realization of this supreme truth, have revealed this, and whosoever, I, you, or anybody else, who cares to understand, to realize, to experience the bliss of the self within, the entire infinite absolute reality of happiness, love, bliss, and beauty is ever there within you, outside you. There is only imagination, there is only notion of happiness. Every particle of happiness is your own property. You have eternal patent right over happiness. Just go within at the core of your life force, that is Atman, and there you are infinitely happy, perpetually joyful. You have been, due to ignorance, begging or seeking for happiness in the external world, which is a shadow of yourself, because you alone pervade and permeate every object and atom of the entire universe. There is none other than me who ever exists or pervades or permeates anything in the universe. I alone permeate and pervade the sun and the moon and the galaxy and the stars. Infinite emptiness of the sky, I am. Ether, I am. Water, I am. Fire, I am. I alone permeate and pervade the air and earth and all the objects produced through the combination of these five basic elements are nothing and none other than me, myself. Through my own modification and modulation, I alone appear as the entire objective phenomenal universe which appears to be outside me due to illusion created by mind. When I dissolve my mind by going in samadhi, nirvikalpa samadhi, I find there is nothing outside me. There is none apart from me. I am one non-dual light of pure consciousness, which alone is the existence infinite. I am that supreme Brahman, that supreme self indeed. Meditate on this. Imbibe and get soaked in this supreme blissfulness of your own nature. Be established in happiness, be established in happiness. Be in a state of happiness for a long, long time. In fact, for infinity. The time and space are illusory imaginations of the mind. You are infinitely blissful. Just abide in your true nature. And then you realize there is no end to the happiness. That is your nature. That is intrinsic to the Atman. That's absolute, unconditioned, infinite happiness is yours. That is Bhumananda, the bliss of the infinite. That Bhumananda you are, that Bhumananda I am, the bliss of the infinite. Atman alone is infinite. The pure consciousness alone is infinite, and that pure consciousness you are, that pure consciousness I am. That pure consciousness alone is this entire universe. That's why Upanishads declare Prajnanam Brahman. One of the four Mahavakyas declares Prajnanam Brahman. Consciousness is Brahman. Consciousness is Supreme Self. consciousness is Sacchidananda. Realize this truth and abide in this supreme wisdom. There never is anything called mind. In reality, there is no mind. Mind and mental modifications are imaginations, illusory appearances like water in the mirage, snake in the rope imagined, silver imagined in the seashell or nacre. Even so, the mind and mental modifications are imaginations in pure consciousness, upon pure consciousness and through pure consciousness. There is nothing called mind apart from pure consciousness. There never is any remembrance, there never is the world indeed. The phenomenal world, the phenomenal universe in reality never exists. Only Brahman exists, but due to illusion we are unable to see because of the thin veil of constant mental modifications. We are unable to see the Brahman, the Paramatman, who alone manifests and radiates every moment, everywhere, and yet it is being covered by unending mind, unending mental modifications. With the cessation of mental modifications, you are face to face with Brahman, you are face to face with that supreme reality, that is the supreme glory, that alone is called Param Purushartha in Vedas. That is the ultimate objective of every human endeavor, the supreme glory of human life. Unless and until you realize your true nature, your immortal, eternal nature, you are not going to be free from fear, want, insecurity, deprivations, sorrows, sufferings. You are currently in the grip of the COVID-19 corona pandemic. You are always being haunted by the fear of infection and potential death. This is all because of ignorance. You are not the body, nor is the body yours. You are infinite embodiment of pure consciousness. Nothing can touch pure consciousness. Pure consciousness alone is Atman. And that Atman is beyond infection, affliction, disease, and death and decay. Realize your true nature in order for becoming free from all fears, disease, and death. Realize your true nature, Sacchidananda, absolute existence, pure consciousness, and bliss absolute, to become free from all fears and frustrations. There is no such thing as thought either. The thought that there is thought is itself non-existent. The bhava of there being anything is non-existent. The talk about the existence of the world is false. In reality, there is no world, because during the night when you fall asleep, you see in the dream an entire dream world. The seer, seen, and seeing of the dream world, all three are imagined, illusory. Even so, in this so-called waking state, we are deluded by ignorance of our true nature. Therefore, we think that in terms of subject and object, the seer and seen. In reality, the Atman of the nature of pure consciousness is free from the triad of knower, and knowing. Seer, seen and seeing are imagined in one supreme reality, that is pure consciousness, the Atman. Therefore, there is no world in the reality that you intuitively experience in Samadhi. That is, when you transcend the realm of mind and mental modifications, you are immersed in the bliss of your true nature of Atman, of the nature of pure consciousness. One who say that things exist, the talk that things exist, the attitude that the world is, that there is protector of the world other than one's own self, the certitude that I am the body, the notion that this man is indeed a great Chandala, the untouchables, the certitude that this person is a great Brahmin is all non-existent. All the castes, creeds, nationalities, names, forms, different faiths are all mental illusions. In the supreme reality, the Brahman, there is no differentiation. Nah, that is what Hastamalaka declares. Naham manusyo na cha devayakshav na brahmana kshatriya vaishya shudra na brahmachari na grihe vanastho bhikshur na chaham nijabodharupa. I am aware of the nature of self-awareness. Aware of this nature of self-awareness, Atma Bodhayam. There are no castes or the stations of life in me. I am that Supreme Brahman. I indeed am the Supreme Brahman. I indeed am the partless, Nishkal. There is no part. I am always wholesome. Infinite wholesomeness belongs to me. I am perfect fullness and infinite wholeness. That is what Upanishads declare when they say Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. You are that infinite wholeness out of which whatever is taken out, that too is whole, and the remainder too is infinitely whole, perfect fullness. You are that infinite light of pure consciousness, which is infinitely whole, perfectly fulsome reality. Because it's partless, indivisible, non-dual reality. I indeed am the divine self. I indeed am Kevala, the only one. Brahman alone is Kevala, the only one, pure consciousness in reality. Other than pure consciousness, everything and everyone has duality. Only pure consciousness, Chidananda, is only one indivisible, partless reality. That is the Atman, that Atman you are. Realize this truth and become established in this truth. I indeed am the self of all. I am self of all, one self as the self of all. Ayamatma Brahman. This self, the pure consciousness, the awareness through which, in which, upon which I am experiencing the entire universe. That pure consciousness alone is supreme truth. That one pure consciousness is the Atman, one indivisible Atman is essentially the Atman of all beings. The duality and distinction and triad all are imagined. The supreme reality, I of the nature of pure consciousness, is always indivisible, beyond all sense of duality and triad. I am non-dual reality of the nature of one indivisible Atman, Brahman, Paramatman. I am ever loving. Love is intrinsic and inherent to me. I am of the nature of love. Love is not an external reality. Love always, I am always saturated, I am always brimming with love. Love absolute, love unconditioned. All love that is sought in the objects or beings of the external world is illusory, like dreamlike. There is no real love outside me, ever. I alone am the infinite ocean of love, bliss and beauty. Realize this and abide in this supreme beatitude, in this supreme contentment that alone leads to permanent satisfaction and contentment in authentic sense. The rest, you keep changing, you keep enjoying the sense objects, and the more you enjoy, the more hungry you feel, the more you experience and the more thirsty you feel, because the real love, bliss and beauty is there within yourself. कस्तूरी कुंडल बसे मृग ढूंढे बनमा वैसे घट घट राम है माया देखे ना. That essence, that supreme love you have been seeking, the love, bliss and beauty, through every speech, thought and action, none has ever sought anything other than love, bliss and beauty. Every moment of our life is geared, directed, propelled and impelled by nothing other than the search for love, bliss and beauty. And the greatest irony of the existence is that it lies in infinite measure within you, within me, within everyone. It's indivisible, partless, non-dual reality, all love in its reality. The infinite ocean of love, bliss and beauty is ever present within me, in my true nature. Due to ignorance about my true nature, I was seeking, begging, and trying to borrow the love, bliss and beauty from the external imagined names, forms. I indeed am without limitations, because I alone am the limitless absolute Brahmananda, the bliss of absolute, the bliss of infinite. The rest are all imagined, finite, limited, sensual pleasures, which too are derived from Brahmananda. The Vishayananda and Vasanananda is essentially a derivative bliss of the Brahmananda. The Brahmananda is absolute. The Brahmananda is substratum of the Vishayananda and Vasanananda too. Therefore, go to the root, go to the source, go to the ultimate reservoir of love, bliss and beauty, and that is your true nature. That is your true essence at this right very moment. It was never absent. That Atman is ever present within you, and Therefore, that infinite ocean of love, bliss, and beauty too is right now, right here present. You don't need to do anything other than take a U-turn, dissolve the mental modifications, and abide in that supreme self. Get established in pure consciousness in the Atman, then you enjoy the Atma Rama. You become Atma Rama. That is the reveler, infinite reveler in the self. The nectar of the self you drink, the nectar of the Atman you are enjoying infinitely once you are merged in that reality. That alone is the supreme achievement. After knowing that, after attaining that, nothing remains to be known, attained, or enjoyed. That alone leads to the permanent cessation of sorrows, sufferings, and infinite availability of eternal joy, love, and bliss and beauty that we have been seeking in the phenomenal world. That is the supreme secret of Advaita Vedanta. I indeed am ever the witness, I am indeed myself only. I am not hidden, nor am I unhidden, nor I am the always shining one, because I am beyond all this. Brahman, which is higher than the highest, the mind that is higher than the highest, that I am. I am higher than the highest, superior than the supreme, because I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am that supreme reality. There is no reality higher than me, superior than me. I am devoid of all bodies because I am formless, bodiless. I am pure light of consciousness. I am devoid of all action. I am the peaceful self of all mantras. I transcend all antahakarana. In the holy center of the self, in the sacred water of the self, in the enjoyment of the bliss of the self, I repose in myself in the knowledge that I am self alone. Soham atmaiva kevalam. Atmoham chidoham chaitanyoham, which alone is the source, substance, and substratum of all bliss and beauty. That Atman I am. There is only the self. All the non-self or inert is imagined in me. I alone. One self is the self of all, and I alone am existence. I am the self. I am. I am indeed the self, not of this world. I am the self of all. One self, Sacchidananda. One self is the self of all. Satchit Anand, absolute existence, pure consciousness, and absolute bliss I am. That's I alone am the self of all. I alone permeate and pervade every single object or being in the universe. I am ever the self. I am eternal self beyond the gunas. I am beyond all characteristics and attributes. Being always of this conviction, ever have such conviction for final fulfillment. That is called self-realization or God-realization. Unless and until you are convinced of this reality, you are established in this certitude that you are that supreme reality, you are the Atman, there is going to remain the sense of deprivation, lacking something, needing something. Your desires won't end. You will be ever unfulfilled, ever hungry, ever thirsty, ever desiring, ever seeking some or the other thing. You are bound to live and remain a perpetual beggar unless and until you know this truth that you are the absolute reality. And in the self-realization, realization of your true nature alone, you ever get fulfilled. All your desires get fulfilled only by realizing your true nature. That is why self-realization is the supreme glory, ultimate accomplishment, the greatest success, the success of all success. Because other than the self-realization, God realization and Brahma realization, they are different words for the same reality and same realization. You, howsoever rich you are, howsoever material wealth you have, howsoever political power or economic clout you have, it's all illusory, it's all dreamlike. Therefore, unless and until you know your true self and abide in the true self and rejoice and revel in the nectar of your own self, you are not going to be fulfilled, you are not going to be contented, you are not going to achieve lasting peace and infinite fulfillment. That is why self-realization is so important and so grand. Being always of this conviction, ever have such conviction for final fulfillment. Only consciousness stands as the fulfillment. That indeed is only the certitude. Even this certitude reaches dissolution. Be happy by yourself alone. The final fulfillment is realized and attained and enjoyed only in realization that consciousness alone is final fulfillment, final satisfaction, ultimate peace, param shanti, the supreme peace, and paramananda, the supreme bliss is attained in that supreme consciousness, the pure consciousness within. There is nothing other than pure consciousness. The pure consciousness alone is Brahman. Pure consciousness alone is Shiva. That's why called Chidananda. Realize this truth that the eternal, unborn, undying, pure consciousness as the Atman, one indivisible, non-dual Atman, as this true self of all infinite phenomenal universe, and by realizing that supreme reality, become free from all fears, sorrows, sufferings, and become established in the infinite, eternal, absolute bliss of the self, Atmananda, bliss of the Brahman, Brahmananda. Brahmananda is your birthright, Atmananda is your birthright, and unless and until you revel and rejoice in Atmananda and Brahmananda, the life will remain miserable. Howsoever powerful you are, howsoever political and financial clout or power you have, you will remain as a beggar. So if you want to become the emperor of emperors, an eternal donor, ever satisfied, never lacking anything, never in need of anything, an eternal donor, then realize your true self. That is Sacchidananda, the infinite existence, absolute bliss of the nature of pure consciousness, and in that realization you become free from all limitations. You become infinite and eternal. You become emperor of the emperors. That emperor of emperors you are always, but due to your ignorance of yourself, you are living the life of a perpetual beggar. Break free from this perpetual beggary and assert your emperorhood. Assert your immortality. That is the supreme goal of life. Unless and until you achieve that supreme goal, the life is useless, the life is meaningless, because the life of a beggar alone is available to you. Therefore, realizing in this supreme truth, become Atma Rama, reveler in the self. Then and then the life has meaning. This human life alone is capable of realizing that supreme glory. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am ever reveling, I am ever rejoicing the bliss, beauty, and love of my own self, that infinite embodiment of love, bliss, and beauty, that Shiva I am, that Atman I am. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham.